Hello and welcome to another episode of Blastercated Paint, and we are still in Marvel March here, and today we're going to paint the only Marvel character I could feasibly cosplay as, the Blob. So today we will be painting the Blob from Marvel Crisis Protocol by Atomic Mass Games. You will note that I gave this guy a Zenithal highlight because I was going to paint him differently. And then I decided not to, so just spray him white and let's get into it. So first thing we're going to do is take the Ishtar Pink here, and this is going all over his skin, which he has a ton of. A ton of excess skin. Here we go. It will probably be best to thin this down and do 2 thin coats of it. And we're switching over to Night Blue, and this is going all over his bodysuit. I think he was a wrestler before, or was, or still is. Like, he takes gigs as a wrestler, the Blob. I don't know. I gotta look into the lore of this guy. That Night Blue is also going all over his booties. And by that I mean his boots. His booties. Now, one thing about miniature painting is sometimes you will make a mistake and it will almost derail the entire thing you're painting. I am about to do that. I do save it in the end, but I wish I had done something differently. It's very important in miniature painting to just keep going and fixing it, and if you can't, then you just have to strip the model and start over. But I wanted to show you that everybody makes mistakes. Obviously my painting's not that great. I'm not one of the best painters in the world or anything, but I wanted to show you the mistakes that I make. I want this to be sort of a transparent sort of painting process. Like, if I make a mistake, you guys should know about it, and maybe watching me recoup it will help you learn to figure out how to save your mistakes as well. So I took some Berserker Bloodshade and I put this all over the skin. This is going to darken the skin way more than I wanted, and you can see that I'm going slowly because I'm literally regretting the decision I made as I'm painting it for the video. But let's try and save it. Let's move over to some Parasite Brown, and this is just going all over his hair. And we're going to take that Ishtar Pink again, and we are going to do a highlight on all the raised parts of the skin. So we're just slowly going through and layering up that skin. Now we're going to take some salmon and we're going to add this into our Ishtar Pink, and we're going to do another layer of that skin. So we're going to just leave, again, we're leaving some of that Ishtar Pink there. We're leaving the recesses alone, and we're just slowly going to go through and layer it up. Once we have done that, we're going to add more salmon to our Ishtar Pink, and we're going to do a final layer. Slowly going through and just keeping that original skin color and the recesses and the color we paint over, so just slowly pulling in and in on these layers, leaving all of the original layers that we've already put down, showing somewhat. Now we're going to take some Reichland Flesh Shade, and we're going to take a tiny bit of Speed Paint Medium and water, and we're going to make this into a glaze. And this is going to go all over the skin. So now we don't want this to pool in any areas other than the deepest recesses, and we want to wipe it off the areas that we're putting on. So this is just slowly, gently going to tint that skin closer to what we want and bring those highlights together a little bit more. You can also put this all over his hair. That's a good wash for hair. Then we're going to take some homemade black wash, and this is going to go all over the bodysuit and the boots. Now, you can already see here that that skin looks much better with that glaze on it. One of the advantages to painting this way is that if we don't get a smooth coat, like on the bodysuit there's some spots that didn't go on smoothly, it doesn't matter as much because we're going to wash it and then we're going to highlight it up. So we don't need the perfect smooth coats as we would. Even with like speed paints, we want them to go on evenly and then sink into the recesses. We've got a lot more room for error painting this way, and honestly in the end I think it looks better. At least for these comic book guys. I think the other painting methods for other miniatures make sense, but these comic book guys we want to be bright and colorful and poppy. Now we're going to go back to that night blue, and we are going to highlight up all the raised areas of his bodysuit and his boots. So this is going to be really subtle at first because this night blue is such a deep color, and we're just going to go through and take our time, bring it all back up. Now we're going to add a drop of white into that night blue and then just bring that up again, and we're going to slowly go through and highlight up that next layer. This is this night blue is a really nice color in that it dries a little bit darker than it looks. So it's going to really kind of meld those colors together. Now we're going to take some dead white here, and this is just going to go on his teeth. Just go in really gently and take your time. Now we're going to take some yellow here, and this is just going to go on his shoulder straps and his belt. Also the straps of his boots. Now we're going to switch over to that dead white one more time, and we're just going to dot in his eyes. Just be careful, do your best. This is honestly is not something you have to do. I just wanted to go in and do it. Now we're switching back over to Parasite Brown, and we're going to do a highlight on his hair. Now I'm going to take a little bit of white and I'm going to add it into that yellow that we used, and I'm just going to do a slight gentle sort of edge highlight on the banding on his boots, his shoulder straps, and his belt. And we're going to take some Cobalt Metal here, and this is going to go all over his wrist guards. We're going to take some Runic Grey, and this is going to go as a wash on his metal. Just put it right down the center of the band so it makes it, give it a bit of an edge highlight on its own. I will put a link in the description below where you can find out how I do the bases for these Marvel characters. I'll put a black rim around, and this guy is done. And even though we had a problem with the skin, or I mean at least a perceived problem, I didn't like how it looked, this guy turned out awesome. We turned it around, and I am really happy with how he looks. I'm really quite impressed. Not with myself, just with the sculpt. It's super cool, and a really cool addition to your collection. All I remember in the original X-Men cartoon was like Rogue punching him in the stomach and just nothing happening. I think he even kind of, like, his stomach even kind of swallows her fist a little bit. Yeah, it's good. It's good. And then I think I remember Wolverine slashing at him and nothing happens at all, and he like says something about like how it tickles. The Blob is a ridiculous character. I don't know what it is about X-Men villains, but I love pretty much all the X-Men villains. I love most of Marvel's villains. Like, villains are kind of like my thing. I like them usually more than heroes, but the X-Men villains are quite ridiculous. I really, really like them. What do you guys think? Who's your favorite Marvel villain? Is it the Blob? Or is it that guy with the ridiculous name, Mr. Sinister? Let me know in the comments below. Either way, guys, thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, all the YouTube stuff, and you guys have a great day. It will probably be best to thin this down and do 2 coats of it. 2 coats of it. Just going through and slowly, why can't I think of the word? Layering. Oh my god! How could I not think of layering? Marvel the Blob. The character is usually depicted as an adversary of the X-Men, a mutant originally depicted as a fat circus freak. The Blob claims to be immovable when he so desires. Oh, that's how I feel.